I try to limit our reviews to products that you're going to be excited by. So when Dreo asked me to review a smart fan, I explained very nicely that smart fans just aren't going to be an exciting topic for a lot of people. I told them no, but they sent the products anyways. Then I took it out of the box and was blown away by how it looked. Then I plugged it in and I was literally blown away. Then I worked with it, tested it thoroughly, and begged Dreo for forgiveness and to make this review. They accepted my plea for forgiveness, accepted my mistake, and even sponsored today's video. So thanks to Dreo for that, and I promise you'll be amazed when you see more of what these smart fans can do. Dreo sells 5 fans today, with 2 having smart features. Now the Falcon S table fan sitting over here has an MSRP of $100, comes in silver or gold, carries a blade length of 9 inches, and drives those blades using a motor speed that maxes out at 1,280 RPM. It features 9 speed settings and 6 modes, with some automatically adjusting fan speed due to temperature or schedule or in other automated ways. It's ultra quiet. It's running here beside me, and that's a term I don't use lightly as I'm annoyed by most noises in my home. Yet the air coming out of the fan actually reaches the entire length of my home, even at medium speeds. Plus, it features one of the most incredible horizontal and vertical pan and tilt options that I've seen today, allowing it to move 120 degrees horizontally and 90 degrees vertically. And there's more to that feature that I'll explain later, and you're probably noticing if you're watching here, it's not going that far, is it? Now, the Falcon S is gorgeous, but it's a little large, and for those of you without a side table to sit that fan on, you can get the Polyfan Max S. Now it's another $40, but it comes with a stand, an increased motor speed, and a few changes on the features available here. Both of them come with touch screen control on the fan itself, and both come with an IR-based remote. You can run them with sounds, adjust the panel brightness a bit, and you have other basic features and settings through their Wi-Fi connection and the Dreo app. But that's where we start to get some pretty wild physical attributes and some of the smartest features I've seen ever on a home appliance. So I need to show you what these things can do in person. Okay, so I've got this running, and it's just an on and off right here. As you turn it on and off, you can see it's actually moving back to kind of a central place. Now I can adjust fan speed as I'd like. I can go all the way up to level 9, and you can see the result right there. I have the ability to adjust between auto and normal modes here on the display, and I have horizontal and vertical oscillation. You get a little icon for each of those on here, and you also have a timer, so I can go by hours, and I can go all the way around back to 0. Now each button has a hold function, so if I hold, I can go to turbo mode. Now that is above level 9, that's as fast as you can get this thing going. You also have the ability to turn on and off beeps on here. You can see I've turned it on, so it's muted. This is how you configure it for Wi-Fi when you're getting it set up. And here's a child lock so that this won't work anymore. Now when you're turning these on and off, you can see that one's running, that one's running. I turn this off and it's gonna kind of recenter itself. Same thing takes place here. If I turn that off, it's gonna kind of recenter itself. We also have a remote with all of the functions. Now, the funny thing is this specific remote came with that. You get one in each box, but I can turn them both on with the same remote. So there's nothing stopping me from turning them both on with one press or multiple of these. And you have all of the same controls on this remote as you do on the physical device. Now the Dreo app is quite powerful. So here's the tall fan, and here's my air circulator. So that's this one, and then you saw the other one. Now you could just turn these on and off very quickly. There it goes, it's running already. It's instantaneous. What you might be noticing on this page is that you get a temperature sensor. That's important for later. But if you ever want to go in and do more of the functions, well, here they all are. Now the two interfaces are exactly the same. I can crank that up to 8. And I can crank that down, but you also have 3 other modes. Natural moves between different fan speeds. It'll kind of act like the wind outdoors. You have sleep mode that just reduces over time the speed of the device, and you have an automatic mode. That auto mode adjusts the fan speed a little bit based off of temperature and that sensor that's on the device. You also have the ability, so I can control, move this left or right. So I moved it a little left or right, but it's still vertically oscillating there. So you have this ability to control it manually, or you can turn on the other oscillations, and now it's gonna move left and right and vertically. There's a turbo mode. Obviously that's gonna drive it up. And there's a custom mode that I'm gonna show you a little later, but this is based off the temperature in your space, or you can set it based off of the schedule. You can also adjust how this oscillation works, so you don't have to have it oscillate all over the place. Voice assistants are extremely powerful with this. Turn off tall fan. There it goes. Now you have way more commands that you won't expect with those voice assistants. So I'm gonna show you that as we continue here with our review. There are 5 things that I am blown away by, and I promise I'm done with that pun, but this vertical and horizontal oscillation feature is something that has been fine-tuned within Dreo's app. You can choose both at the same time, and you can also limit that movement to exactly the way you'd like. So if you don't want to blow away the papers on a table, you just limit the fan from going there. That's what I've done here, so it's not hitting me. And that leads me to the second thing that's really impressive. That is the control that's possible with Amazon or Google voice assistants or within their app. The voice commands you get with Dreo's fans allow you to control the fan, change the speed, turn on and off the vertical and horizontal oscillations independently. And as is usually the case, Amazon can run those features within their routines. So you can have these automated methods like pushing buttons from across the room, or even using more sophisticated methods like presence or motion sensors. Now, a great idea for Amazon as well is to use the onboard temperature sensors in their Echo speakers to make this fan behave exactly how you'd like. But that's actually not even required because of the third thing that I find really impressive. I was really surprised by this, but Dreo's included their own temperature sensor and then made really good use of it. You can use that sensor through the Dreo app, and this allows you to adjust the fan speed based on temperature. So if you put the fan in auto mode and then let it run throughout the day, it'll adjust the fan speed on its own, a little bit up and a little bit down as the temperature changes. But there's a more in-depth custom mode that allows you to set the fan speed exactly based on temperature. This works really well with air conditioning units to have the fan speed up when that turns on, and it's an absolute godsend when your home fluctuates quite a bit in terms of temperature, because you can drive up the fan again when it gets too hot. Now, of course, with every smart device today, I can schedule the fan over the course of a day, but I think the temperature control for me is what I'm gonna use. And you also have 2 other modes. Now, the first one is called the natural mode, which changes the fan speed every few seconds like you experience in the great outdoors. But the fourth thing, which is called sleep mode, leads me into another really impressive thing about these. That mode will drop the fan speed every 30 minutes until you get down to what is the lowest fan speed. Then it will leave it there and run until you want to shut it off. Now, the reason that this is important is because it's so ultra quiet in these lower speeds. You really can't hear it, and you basically just feel it a little bit, and that is so different than every other fan I've had. Now, the fifth thing is really related to the engineering. they've been engineered to be nearly silent, and I don't hear the movement when it's oscillating either vertically or horizontally, and I barely hear it even when we get up to higher speeds, which speaks to what I think is a really high quality design from a physical perspective. The motors are definitely high quality, and just the way these fans look and the components even being used on the outside are just a little bit better than you're going to get with a standard fan. That speaks a lot to the value, and I don't see these as being overpriced in a world where a lot of things are overpriced. And obviously it's more expensive than a $20 fan, but that's a pretty hard product to come by these days, and honestly, there's a real feeling of luxury with these products around your home. If I had any requests or anything to say about these that might stop you from looking at them when you need a fan, it's that they don't work with more traditional smart home hubs today. They don't seem to have any Matter compatibility on the way, and I would like to see that temperature sensor exposed to the other platforms so I could use that in other ways. Now, the panel brightness stays fairly consistent on this, and even though it says it will adjust it, but these are all minor things because it works on its own with those onboard temperature sensors, and it's a top-notch smart product. It's been reliable. I haven't seen it go off of the Wi-Fi connection, and the connection to the voice assistants has been perfect. So to me, these are complete buys, and I really hope me taking the time to produce this review was worth it to you personally. In fact, after you're done checking out the links to these below, please let me know if this kind of a review hit the mark for you. Otherwise, thanks for watching today, and of course, don't hate, automate.